Alright guys, I'm back again. Got another one for you. This one is another GEC. Let's see. This one's the Northfield 612S. It's the model number. Generation NF612S. I believe that's an S, hopefully. 613210 LP Burnt Stag. So, the Model 61 happens to be a half stag whittler, or half stag Congress. Sorry about that, guys. Or half Congress. I believe the other parts, 3, I'm not sure, I believe is the handle material. 2 may be the actual number of blades, and then 10 I'm not sure of, but this one I got from the gentleman as well. This is the 6th knife that I picked up from him, and this one is very cool. It's got nice utility blade, kind of the, I don't know, what's that? Is that like a, what are those called? I can never remember the name of them. Sheep's foot blade? Is that like a sheep's foot blade, or is that a, I can't remember the other name of it, but anyways, I'm retarded, I know, guys. It's really out of it still. Let's see here. This one's got a real nice Northfield shield. The stag kind of dips in where the shield is, and then once again it's kind of rounds out inside for a right-handed palm. Very comfortable in the hand, even for a lefty, the way that it's got that back sweep. I really like this one. It's got the kind of milled out bolsters, which adds kind of a cool little difference in the actual everyday bolster. So you got a little bit of, you know, coolness going on there, and then you got a little bit of a pen blade. One of my favorites, pen blades. One thing that's cool about these is when this blade is in, your hand fits very nicely right there. Even if you go 2 fingers up, then that finger fits on that blade very nicely. So it's a very comfortable user knife. These Congress, kind of fun, you know, interesting to find out that the half Congress is very, very comfortable, because it's not one of my favorite designs as far as slip joints goes. I'm not a huge fan of multi-blade knives, because as far as slip joints go anyways, because for some reason when you get into slip joints and you do have those multiple blades, they're trying to cram all of them into a very small space. And even though GEC has very, you know, good alignment on most of their blades, I'm not sure if these ones, or this one, has been scratched up or not. Yeah, it has. But you see that kind of denseness right there? That's a scratch. So whenever you go to close the blade, because they have to force room in here for this blade, it goes in and it scratches onto the other blade, which I'm not sure whether or not if this one is scratched as well, but yes, it is. But you end up getting scratches on the blades because of the fact that every time that you go to pull one out, it scratches, or it rubs on the side of the other blade, or it possibly even rubs the liners, and then every time you close it, it rubs the liners, just because they're trying to force those blades into one small little area. So not typically, you know, for collector's knives, You know, yeah, if you happen to purchase it and you want to, I don't know, just display it like this, or you pull out the blades once, you know, and then, you know, shove them into some sort of display, then they could be collectible and hold their value. But if you actually want to take them out, look at them, enjoy them, you know, you're going to end up scratching those blades up, because as soon as you go to close them, well, the first time that it happens, you just scratched up your blade. Or the first time that you even pull it out, you could end up rubbing that other blade as you pull it out, which I just did right there, just by merely pulling out the blade. And that's kind of a disappointment, because you spend a lot of money on these, and if you aren't planning on using them but you're planning on collecting them, well, you just devalued the actual knife. It just went down in value the instant that you pull it out of the box and decide to open it up. I mean, it's almost instantaneous that the value of the knife just dropped by at least 30%. So that's one thing to think about as far as if you ever decide to choose a knife for display or collectability value. It's not a super bad thing, but you know, with these high polished blades, you getting a little tiny scratch like that, I mean, it really stands out. You know, if you're planning on using it, you know, it's not gonna matter to you. But for those that want to collect them, you know, hold on to them for future, you know, reasoning, or just the possible sheer enjoyment of you just displaying it. How would it make you feel if you go to display it, you put a nice light on it and everything, and it's shining through, and then you've got this big old scratch on it that really takes a lot away from it. So just one thing to think about, guys, if you ever get into them. That's one thing that I really like about GECs, is their blade alignment is typically the best. You know, these scratches aren't super bad, but they're definitely noticeable. There's one on this side and on this side. Can't really tell right now, but so there you go. So that's one thing to, you know, think about if you guys ever decide to buy knives. Slip joints is the possibility of they're gonna get scratched if you buy multi-blades. GECs, as far as trappers go, are pretty good about blade alignment and the fact that you may never end up scratching up the blades, because typically they're very well centered between the liners. So if you do choose multi-blades, one thing I would suggest is something that goes along the lines of it's got separated liners, separating each individual blade, because typically when you run into something like that, then you're not going to end up with scratch blades. So in case if you guys were wondering what I was doing, I was just looking inside my Hickory Hill what is it called, knife case roll, knife roll case, to see if I had anything that I could really show you with separated liners other than your basic trapper, something such as this Schatten Morgan. But you know, you got that separating liner right there, which basically helps keep the blades away from each other. Whereas you get knives like this that have one back spring, you end up having typically blades that are going to be very close together and the possibility of rubbing. That's one thing that they do with the milling as well, is they mill half of the knife so that way there's more uniformity for the knife to go in. So let's see if it's got it on this one as well. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a notch right there on that side, so as it comes in, that way it gives it a little bit of leverage to give room. So just something to think about. got this one at a very good price. When I came home, I found out that I had actually, if I was to buy this brand new online, even off of eBay, I basically saved myself about 40 bucks. So by buying it from that gentleman. So don't think that he necessarily really knew what he had as far as price wise, but he probably typically picks up all of his knives from people that come walking in and just want to sell them. I took the only two GECs, this one and the Cripple Creek, and so I think that even with the deal, without the deal that he gave me for purchasing 6 knives off of him, ended up being better, just because of the fact that, you know, he probably picked this up for maybe 40-50 bucks maybe off of somebody that was just kind of desperate and wanted to sell a knife and go buy something else, but that was in a hurry and needed cash right then and there. So he probably picked up, you know, some money off of it. But in the end, the cheapest place that I found these, eBay, they were going for 110. knifecollecting.com or knifecollectors.com has this one for, I believe, 110, free shipping. But so I saved about 30-40 bucks on it. Very happy with that, as well as the other Cripple Creek that I got. So definitely happy about those guys. I know I've been doing a lot of videos on slip joints. It's kind of one of the reasons why I've got this guy in the background, just to show still into the tactility portion of knife collecting and everything. But even though this is one of my oldest and only Spydercos that I really still have, I do have some others, but that'll all be shown at a later time and date. And then I kind of have my 1911 in the picture, as well as to just kind of go on about generations and the interesting part of, you know, one of the oldest handguns to survive so many years. And that's kind of the important part of slip joints, is no matter how old they get, they're still very awesome blades, have a lot of collectability value to them, and are still very, you know, user friendly, as well as, you know, this is a gentleman's knife, and very good looking one for that matter. But if you guys decide to get into slip joints, just you know, something a little different to give you guys a look at, and definitely a cool knife. So hope you guys enjoyed the video, and look forward to more. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a good night.